Y'all, so I was scrolling on TikTok and I stumbled across this. Okay, now I don't know what he was talking about. Don't particularly care, right? What I'm focused on is the fact that this is a white man with a bonnet on in the grand year of 2025. And I'm going to have to call this out every time I see it. After the treatment that black women got when we pioneered the bonnets, and now suddenly every Becky and Brad is on here with a bonnet on talking about, oh yeah, it's just for hair care ever since I started wearing bonnets, so. Y'all is out your minds. I'm clocking this tea every time I come across it because there is no way. No way. Now let's go ahead and get a couple things out the way because I know the caves is coming. And one thing I say about white folks, they always have they have a set number of rebuttals that they use all the time. Mind you, it don't even have to make sense in response to what you are talking about. It's just they have their set rebuttals. They just pick one out of a hat and just say, yeah, I'm going with this one today, right? So I already know they finna come. They finna be like, well, golly gee willikers, my great-great-grandmammy used to wear a bonnet. We're not talking about Little House on the Prairie, baby. That's not what we're talking about, right? Then they're going to come and they're going to be like, well, home skiggly wiggly. Well, it's just for hair care. Okay, my question is this. Was it just for hair care when black women were the only ones doing it and y'all was talking cash money shit about us? Because y'all wasn't all talking about, it's just for hair care. It helps my hair keep from being tangled, so and so and so. No, I didn't hear none of that. And I'm gonna have to clock this tea every time I come across it because it's crazy how white folks will attempt to rewrite history dead in your face. It's not even like it's history. No, they're rewriting the present day. Like, baby, I was here for that. Like, how you gonna try to rewrite some shit that we all saw go down? Like, what? This is my thing. For years and years and years, black women were dragged about wearing bonnets, right? Now, to be fair, as it pertained to black people, most of the time the conversation was about wearing bonnets outside. Oh, you wore a bonnet outside to the store, whatever, so and so and so, right? But when it came to white people, it was about the bonnet, period. Like, a lot of times I record YouTube videos with my bonnets on, and I promise you, white people were not in the comments like, oh, well, Flower Tower's in her house, so does she has her bonnet on? No, absolutely not. They were still talking cash money shit, right? But now in 2025, and it really started in 2024 for real, suddenly everybody and their mama got bonnets on. And when you check them about that, then their response is always, oh, it's just for hair care. It's not for one particular type of hair, so and so and so, yada, yada, yada. Okay, that's cool and that's cute though. But my thing is this, if that's the case, then why were y'all dragging black women so badly for it before y'all started colonizing and gentrifying it? I don't get that. This is the crazy thing. A couple years ago, I made a YouTube video about all of this bonnet discourse. I remember this. This was early in my YouTube days. It had to be like 2021 maybe, right? And I made this video because there was all this discourse going on, and there were some prominent black women actresses, I think maybe like Monique, I believe, who spoke out against wearing the bonnets, right? Oh, it looks this way, that way, so and so and so. And then I believe Cynthia G also spoke out against it, right? So I made this video, and I remember I mentioned, like, it might be a little bit of an age difference going on here as well, because you see the women who are, I'm not going to say old, that's not what I'm saying, right? But the older, generation is looking at it differently than the younger generation is, right? But I distinctly remember this video that I made because I was talking about how black people will literally police each other using white people's respectability politics. Like, basically all of this discourse surrounding bonnets that the black community was having was like literally boiled down to, oh, well, what will Massa think? We's got to put on for boss, right? That's literally what it was. And I remember discussing this years ago, right? Now we turn around and white folks is wearing more bonnets than everybody. Like, that's not sitting right with my spirit. It's really not, because I don't like how shit is never okay until white people start doing it. And then suddenly, oh, it's just to protect your hair. The fuck? It was to protect your hair when black women was doing it. But y'all talked cash money shit again. But then suddenly white people using it and oh yeah, I want to protect my hair, so and so and so. Are you serious? It's crazy how white people will demonize something to the point where black people will cast it aside, right? White people are the ones who looked at bonnets and said, oh, that's ghetto, that's this, that's that, so and so, right? And black people internalize this, right? So black folks were like, oh yeah, the bonnet is ghetto, stop wearing it, so and so and so, yada, yada, yada. Now we turn around in 2024, 2025, and suddenly white people was wearing more bonnets than anybody. And does this not tell the age-old story of what it means to be an African American? Because the bonnet is really just one small ass example of what has been going on in this motherfucking landmass since before it even became a country. AAVE, African American Vernacular English, Ebonics, whatever you want to call it, was born hundreds of years ago. It was a dialect that was created by us to communicate with each other when we first got here, right? And do you think that white people had anything positive to say about it? Absolutely not. I remember I wrote a paper about AAVE in college because I was taking this class that was, I think if you went to Michigan State, I think it was the course code CSD, right? And it was like communication and speech development or something like that, right? And there was a unit on AAVE. So at the end of the class, we were assigned a paper and we could write about any unit we wanted to. Of course, I did mine on AAVE, right? And I read this book and it was about how, you know, when AAVE was first forming, of course, white people didn't have nothing positive to say about it. And they compared AAVE to different black dialects like Creoles and stuff, right? And they had comments that white people had made about black people speaking French, like Louisiana Creole, Haitian Creole and stuff, right? They were like, oh, the black people can't pronounce it right. And it's probably because they got them big old bulbous lips that messes up the sounds and so and so and so and yada, yada, yada. Never stop to think that maybe this was just his own, you know, dialect with different grammatical rules or whatever. No, because black people were speaking it, it had to be something negative and inferior, right? Now, fast forward to 2025, right? After all that jive talk y'all was talking about AAVE, now suddenly y'all talking about, oh, well, yeah, that's just Gen Z slang, my home skibbity. Like, the fuck? You telling me that y'all spent 400 years talking down on this dialect just to turn around, right? And be like, oh, yeah, this is TikTok slang. Everybody speaks this. When did that happen? I missed that occurrence. Like, when did the switcheroony, like, what? Y'all spend generation after generation tearing some aspect of black culture down to the point where black people don't even want to embrace it anymore. Y'all spent hundreds of years demonizing AAVE to the point where literally black people would not even speak it themselves because they internalized the negative things that you all said about it, right? Literally, black people grew up in black households where their parents would say, oh no, you can't speak that. You gotta talk like white folks, right? For hundreds of years. And now we finally get to 2025 and that same black ass dialect that y'all told black people made us stupid and so and so and so to the point where black people didn't even want to speak it and black people were cast to the side. Now suddenly y'all speaking it and talking about, oh well, yeah, this is just that skibbity talk, my dog diggity. Are you kidding me? And like, this shit is just so frustrating, bro. It reminds me of like schoolyard bullying, right? It's crazy. It's crazy because imagine you come to school, right? And you got on some shoes, some fly red shoes, right? And everybody talks bad about you. They like, them shoes ugly as hell, like, so and so and so, right? And when I tell you, they don't even just talk bad about you, they ostracize you for those shoes. In gym class, nobody will pick you to be on their team. They say, oh, you can't run fast with them red shoes on, like, nah, right? And it finally gets to the point where you like, you know what? I'm going to get a different pair of shoes because, like, come on now, right? So finally, you get a different pair of shoes. Matter of fact, let's say everybody else has blue shoes. You got red shoes. You say, you know, I'm going to just get some blue shoes. Let me just assimilate so that they'll stop picking on me and stuff, right? So you come to school with some blue shoes on, right? And the very next day, all the motherfuckers who had blue shoes on who wouldn't pick you in gym class because they said your red shoes kept you from running fast and so and so and so. People with red shoes are dumb. They don't want to work with you, you know, on the class project, so and so and so. All of them come to school the day after that with red shoes on. And then when you call them out about it, you like, hey, you made fun of me for wearing red shoes and you said that it made me stupid. You didn't want to work on the class project with me, so and so and so. Then they say, oh, well, golly gee, it's just shoes. They're just to protect your feet. Everybody wears them. And that's the most frustrating part, bro. It really be the gaslighting for me.